Hey everyone, welcome to Modern Leadership. I am so glad you're here with us. Today we're actually going to be doing a live coaching session and with one of our inner circle members, Tricia. Tricia, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. So, if you guys are listening to the Modern Leadership podcast or you're here with us watching us on the Modern Leadership YouTube channel, we do live coaching sessions with our inner circle members occasionally. And it's a really great way for you to kind of see us in action, but also maybe this will resonate with you. Maybe you're going through something similar and you want to see like how we can kind of work through some of these struggles so that we can move forward and like really take action. So today Trisha is going to let us know like what it is that she's struggling with and see how we can navigate through this particular topic. So we did talk a little bit before we went live, but Trisha, can you set this up? Tell us what it is that you want to work through today.
Yes, thank you. This is something that's come up at various levels within my journey as an entrepreneur. Is not feeling expert enough, like not feeling like, or maybe that I've stepped into a room that's a whole lot too big sometimes. And,
Okay.
I haven't had it happen for a while, but it did happen again for me last weekend.
Okay. So tell me more about that.
So there's a local nonprofit that I wanted to sign up to volunteer for and get acquainted with. And it took a little longer than expected, but we had a meeting last weekend and I wanted to join their mentorship committee, being an advanced life and performance coach, and being somebody that volunteerism has always been a key for me. This was a great fit and I was excited. I went to a meet and greet they had. And so we have this first meeting last Sunday morning and I am in the room with some pretty high-end professionals. And
Mhm.
on my entrepreneurial journey, I feel like I'm at the beginning of it. This is new to me and we're going in the right direction. But I step into this room and I'm going, I am like, I just had that. I'm the low man on the totem pole. I've got the least amount of experience. Do I have enough to bring to the table?
Okay. So let's kind of work through that a little bit. So last weekend you went to this nonprofit
Mm-hmm.
meeting
Yep.
and you've been wanting to join this
Mm-hmm.
committee, right?
Yep.
This mentorship committee. And
Mm-hmm.
you walk into the room and you see that there's all these high end professionals
Yeah.
and you think, do I have enough? Do you have enough to what?
To offer them and helping them create this mentorship program. It's a local um, city women's empowerment group, and
Okay.
we're putting together a 6 months to 12-month mentorship course for women to learn how to become a better entrepreneur or to just gain more professionalism and go up the ranks in their jobs and what they want to do and accomplish in life. It's I feel like it's a very important task.
Yeah. So when you think about that, when you think you're in this space where
Hmm.
you feel like you said you're at the bottom of the totem pole
Hmm.
and you feel like you don't have like enough experience. You say you don't I have enough to offer them?
Hmm.
How does that make you feel?
Very nervous and scared at times.
Okay.
Can I really bring enough?
But in that moment last week when you were
Oh,
at this meeting,
panic.
panic. So you
I was
felt
panicked.
panicked.
I'm
Okay,
like,
so you're thinking, do I have enough to offer them?
hmm.
Right? You're in this new space and you felt panic. What did you
Hmm.
do when you felt panic?
um, I probably didn't offer up enough suggestions of what I thought of because we were just kind of brainstorming ideas of what things we would want in this mentorship for people. Um, I didn't bring a whole lot of suggestions, but it is a brainstorming thing, and we're coming back together in 2 weeks. And, I kind of shared my experience, what I had, and gave mentorship, like in mentorship programs, I've had what I've liked in it and what I haven't liked in it, and things that I think should be offered. But I just didn't feel they were, not that they weren't well received, they were, but I just felt that they weren't, there was enough meat to them, I guess.
There was enough meat,
Yeah,
like
like,
enough
was there
substance
enough
to it.
substance? Yeah, that's the word I was looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you said you did give membership
Hmm.
or mentorship, sorry.
Yeah.
But what was the energy like?
The energy was very good. Um,
Okay.
I think I tried to, stand with confidence in the room. I know I have things to offer, but is it enough for this level of professional mentorship? I guess is where I questioned myself.
Okay. So what else did you do when you were feeling panicked?
Um, I stayed in the room. I said I'd be back for the next meeting. And I just took a breath and I thought, I can do this. I tried to kind of cheerlead myself a little bit. And I gave them a couple suggestions as to what they could put out maybe in their marketing to ask people what they would want to bring.
Mm-hmm.
I was pretty proud of myself in that moment, like maybe I don't have, every answer, but at least I thought I put out a good, suggestion. Like, let's ask the people that are here in the room or following us on social that what do they want?
Mm-hmm.
So that was probably my highlight of the conversation. And then I thought to myself, okay, how am I going to do this?
Okay. So what didn't you do when you were in kind of like this state?
um, I probably could have offered some things that I felt would have been a good addition at that point and not waited till the next meeting to see what others bring to the table too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and maybe I could have given suggestions of different ways that I have mentored um, in the past.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what were some other thoughts that were popping up in that moment?
I really had this "did I bite off more than I can chew" feeling thought.
Okay.
Like, I know that I need to step into rooms that I feel uncomfortable with, but I think at that moment I thought maybe I took too big of a leap.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me kind of walk you through this again.
Yep.
And for those listening or watching, just so that you can kind of see the process, that thought process that happens from like thought to feeling to action. So last weekend you had this meeting for a nonprofit. It was for the mentorship committee, and you said, the room is full of high-end professionals. And your story was, do I have enough to offer them? And when you thought that, you felt panic. And some of the things that you did were you did give mentorship and you did feel good about some of the things that you were saying, but you still kind of hesitated and you didn't offer enough suggestions because you had probably
Mhm.
many, but you maybe kept yourself from doing that. There was kind of like, it seems like this back and forth between, I don't know if I'm kind of good enough, but also, hey, I got all of these great suggestions that I can, and I can do this. So there was kind of this back and forth, and that kind of happens when you are a life coach as well. So you kind of, you go back and forth from, like head voice to heart voice and back and forth. But you felt like you still could have offered more suggestions, and you could have kind of showed them that you do have some type of experience in mentoring. You also thought, other thoughts will pop up into our head when, this happens, where you thought, did I bite off more than I could chew? Maybe I took too big of a leap.
Mm-hmm.
So, with all of this, what do you think you are manifesting?
I'm creating that I'm not going to show up with confidence, that I'm going to sit in that, I taking a back seat to it, that I feel like I don't have enough to offer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you're not showing up with confidence, because when you're not showing up with confidence, that's basically what your story is. You're thinking, well, do I have enough to offer them? You're kind of there's self-doubt popping up, right?
A
And
lot.
yes. So, Trisha, I know you and I know you have so much to offer. And it's just about really focusing on what you do have to offer. And of course, everybody's at a different level, and I know for a fact that when it's us, we think we're kind of down here, but in reality we're not. And it's just about really focusing on, well, how do I want to show up? Maybe I feel like I'm not at the level of these high-end professionals, but I'm learning, right? I'm learning how to get there, and how do I want to show up to these meetings so that I can provide that feedback. I can provide that expertise that I know you do have, right? It's
Thank you.
just about really elevating, like a
Mm-hmm.
really positive and empowering thought, so that you can show up the best way you can, because that's all we can do, right? Is show up the
Mm-hmm.
best way we can.
Yep.
We're still learning. However, you have so much to offer, right? So how do we get you to that space, that headspace, so that the next time you go to that committee meeting, you can provide the expertise and the mentorship that you really have. And it doesn't matter how they take it or if they take it, but at least you know that you showed up, right?
Right.
So let's think about this. You're going to go to another meeting, right?
Yep.
Okay. So you're going to go to another meeting. So the facts don't change. Like, the fact is that you last week you went to a meeting, and you're going to go to another meeting. So that's not going to change. However, we can change how you perceive this next encounter, right? So how do you want to show up?
I want to show up with confidence and energy, and just really focus on collaboration. Like, I firmly believe you can do more as a team,
Mm-hmm.
and being able to show up in that level, standing taller, just knowing, feeling that I have that confidence, and feeling that, that this, where I'm going to learn stuff out of this, learn things out of this too,
Mm-hmm.
as much as I can give.
Yeah, and what is a thought that you can have that will give you that confidence and that energy, and uh, make you feel like you're standing up tall?
I think for me, it goes back to the impact that I can make.
Mm-hmm.
That,
Okay, so
you
tell me
know,
about that.
no matter how small that impact is or how big it is, my one of my core values is to just make that impact. How can I change somebody's life with these group of women that I'm working with?
Yes, and you see how there was another question there. So you started off with a question with your thought. Do I have
Mm-hmm.
enough to offer them? And now you have another question. However, it's much more empowering.
Oh,
How can I change somebody's life? Right?
yeah.
Like, that is a question that you want to go for, right? You want to really really find out how you can do that. So you said your thing is impact, right? No matter how
Mm-hmm.
small or how big that impact is,
Yeah.
how can I change somebody's life? So with that thought, how does that make you feel?
I feel excited. Yeah.
Okay.
It brings me excitement. It brings me joy.
Hmm. So when you're feeling excited
Mm-hmm.
and you're showing up to these meetings, what are you doing?
Um, I have a list of of things that I think are essential for that meeting. I've done my assigned task for that, and then I'm ready to, really get down and in the nitty gritty and collaborate to, make this the best program possible for local women.
Yeah. What else?
And to learn.
And what?
And to learn. Like, part of me getting into this was to also learn, like I have a lot to offer in it, things that I think are essential. But I also will gain a lot of stuff from the women that I get to work with.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And what do you think you're going to stop yourself from doing when you're excited and you want to jump in and do things?
I'm not going to hesitate, like you said, even if it's, not something that in the end we vote to keep, we all have the suggestions out there so that we have as many opportunities and ways and avenues, paths, however you want to say it, for these women to excel and for us to excel leading them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you think are some of the other thoughts that you're going to have when you're in this state?
I think a lot of it would be, how can I make it better? Even if it's a suggestion for myself, from somebody else, how can we make this better together? What can I contribute as my portion of this?
Yeah.
So how can I lead better?
How can I lead better?
Mm-hmm.
That's a great question. And even better is when you actually make it a statement too.
Yes.
Like, I can lead better. I can work with others to make this better, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back to the top. So you're at this meeting, and your news story is that you want to make a bigger impact, no matter how big or small. And how can I change someone's life? Yes. And that makes you feel excited. And then you start doing stuff. You start moving, right? You start making a list of the essential things. You are ready to collaborate, so your energy is high. You want to make this the best program, and you also are there to learn, not just to give. And you don't hesitate. You still give those suggestions. They can take it or leave it, right? But you are going to offer those suggestions. And then you start to focus on, how can we make this program better? And how can you lead better? So what do you think you're going to be manifesting from that?
That'll create for me confidence in walking into the room with the ideas that I have and how to use them to the best of everybody's benefit.
So not just, yes, exactly. So it's not just, hey, I'm going to be more confident. You're truly going to help change someone's life.
Yeah. And make
right?
that
because yes, you're going to make that impact because you're going to be devoted to this. You're going to be excited about it, and you're going to be participating in it. So it's not going to be, do I have enough to offer? It's, I do have enough to offer, and I'm going to put my best foot forward into it. Right?
Yes. I love that. I love how you just tweaked.
It is. And really,
it was tiny.
It truly is just little tweaks, right?
Mm-hmm.
That can make a huge difference. And I do have to say, Tricia, that when you first started and you started to tell me, well, I don't know if I have enough to offer and things like that. And I'm thinking back to not just what's happening now, but your whole life prior to this. You have so much to offer with your life experience.
Yeah.
Maybe it doesn't feel like it right now because you're stepping into something new, and it feels scary. Every time we step outside of our comfort zone, it's always scary. It doesn't matter how much life we've had, how many jobs we've had, how many experiences we've had, what we've gone through. Sometimes it doesn't matter when we're in this really scary place. However, we just need to stop and think, sometimes logically, okay, I know I have experience. Maybe it's not particularly in this, but I venture to say that you do have some experience with this because it's mentorship and you're a life coach as well. You can offer that I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure a lot of people in this group do not have, and now they have a life coach in
Mhm.
their corner, in their in their space to collaborate and to kind of see things in a different perspective that
Right.
they wouldn't be able to do if you weren't in that room.
Right.
So you being in this is going to make such a huge difference. And the things that you're going to be doing and the things you're going to be offering
Mhm.
and all of these skills that you've built up until this
Mhm.
moment, everything counts, everything matters, and you are going to make such a huge difference, and I'm super excited for you.
Me too. I really am. Like this thing lit me up, and then when I got in the room, I was like, "Oh wait." But
Yeah.
it is. It's something that speaks to me. That I'm, very much is in line with what I want to do with my business and what I want to do outside of that in the world. So I
Yes.
am super excited to do this. And thank you. Those tweets
Yes.
helped so much.
Yeah, I'm glad. And, thank you for what you do. I mean,
Mhm.
not everybody, is willing to volunteer their time, their skills, their energy um, to nonprofits like this.
Yeah.
So, what you're doing is going to make a huge difference. And, little by little, you'll get in there and you'll, start to build up that confidence. And it's just
Hmm.
about reminding yourself that, you do have enough to offer. You have more than enough to offer this organization. And I'm excited to see what comes out of it.
Me too. Very much so.
Okay. So, how do you feel now?
Um, I feel very energetic about the tasks that I have to complete by the next meeting. No, it, you know, you can tell yourself things, but believing in them sometimes, it takes that just change of the view. It really, you can take the same sentence and, like you said, make it from a question to a statement. And that little shift in the way you look at something, it makes a difference. So
It
thank you
really
very much.
does.
Hmm.
Yeah, and it's really about repetition. Like you said, sometimes it's hard to believe, what you're trying to, how you're trying to reframe that narrative.
Hmm.
And it's just about repeating it until you believe it, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Because just like how that process I walk you through of, what it is that you focus on and the story that you tell yourself leads to whatever feeling that is, and then it makes you take certain actions. That
Hmm.
repetition of focusing on that story that you want to believe, then that will lead you to take the actions that are aligned with that.
Right.
So it's just about aligning with the actions that you want. So your story has to align with the actions that you want and what you truly want to manifest.
Yep.
So it's just about practice and yeah. So
I appreciate it. That was a huge help.
yeah, but thank you for being here and sharing,
Mhm.
what you're going through. I know it's going to help a lot of people at the very least become aware of how their stories are,
Mhm.
manifesting into something that they don't want so that they can make the switch and start creating the things that they do want. So, thank you so much for being here, Trisha.
Absolutely. Anytime.
Of course. Okay.